So it's a chilly September morning here in South Africa. It's supposed to be a bit warmer at this time of year. Um, should be summer or close to summer, but it's actually feeling a bit closer to winter at this stage. So a few things happening internationally. Um, some of you will know about the um, hurricane that's hit multiple states in the US, Tennessee, North Carolina, and so forth, and Florida as well. I think it's about 6 or 7 states impacted directly by this hurricane. And it's quite funny that they're not sending more aid. The mainstream news channels are not really covering this disaster that's currently happening. The flood waters were quite high. I've heard that the amount of rain dropped in this hurricane was quite a large amount, more than most others, and they're saying this is going to be worse than Katrina. I don't know if you guys remember Hurricane Katrina a number of years back. Well, this one apparently is going to claim more lives than Katrina did. Katrina, I think, took the lives of about 1,600 people. I'm speaking under correction there, but I think it was around about there. At this stage, there's coffins floating down rivers, and stormwater is everywhere. So the coffins basically, well, the water actually makes the ground soft and coffins rise to the top. And obviously, funeral homes, if it's in the way of the flood waters, everything goes along with the flood waters. Unfortunately, at this stage, recovery well, obviously they are going to prioritize saving people's lives, and then a secondary thing would be to provide aid and to recover bodies, obviously. It just blows my mind that just over the weekend, Biden and Harris, yes, Harris is actually part of the ruling party currently, so I don't know why she keeps on promising to fix things when she's already in power. But in any case, they announced that they would be giving more billions towards the Middle East, Israel, obviously, as per usual, Ukraine, because they must defeat the evil dictator in other countries and challenge their borders while leaving their own border wide open and financing illegal immigrants. Yes, illegal immigrants, that's exactly what they are if they didn't follow proper and correct channels to get into your country. But in any case, they're finding them and they're worried about other people's borders. But in any case, so they're not really covering the magnitude of this event, this disaster. Helen, I think it's Helen, this current hurricane that went through there. So it just blows my mind that they're funding wars, international wars, with billions and billions of dollars being donated towards other objectives or goals. Why don't they just look after their own country? For fuck's sakes, it's not that hard to see. Take care of your own before you try to broaden your aspirations abroad, because that's exactly what it is. And the thing is, the Ukraine war was totally unnecessary. There was, and same with the Middle East actually. I think 50 something Muslim countries just said now, recently in the past few days, that they are willing to negotiate a peace with Israel as long as they gave the green light for a Palestinian state and troops being removed from Palestinian areas, which is totally understandable. I mean, how many people do need to die before they are finally going to say, okay, let's stop the bombardments of our neighbors? Be it just or not, it's up to every individual for themselves to decide. It's like when they're asking Trump, the mainstream media, obviously, they're always asking Trump, who do you support in this Ukraine war, Russia or Ukraine? Ridiculous question. And when he answers, I want peace, it's a problem. They had so many opportunities to have peace in the Ukraine. Russia came a few times with peace propositions, which the UK and the US just shot down. They could have had peace a few years back already, but they refused to because there's no gain for them, no financial gains for those involved. And I'm not speaking about the American public, they're not the ones that's going to gain from it. The corrupt leadership is going to. At this stage, it's corrupt leadership with the unelected presidential nominee, for example. So yeah, a lot of things that's worrisome at this stage. Many thousands of people are struggling in the United States, affected by this hurricane, and there's so many illegal foreigners. I don't have a problem with people coming in legally to a country, any country, but there's so many people coming in across the border that's actually paid. They're paid to come. Literally, the benefits they get in the United States is way exceeds every penny that they would get in their own countries. And usually asylum works in a way that you go to the safest country that's neighboring your own. You don't go across the Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean, across 5 different countries and go to the United States. That's not how asylum works. These illegal foreigners are being funded, literally being let in, most likely to get more votes. And you'll note, if you are following the news, you will know that they are pushing to get illegals to be able to vote. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but well, it blows my mind. I really don't understand why you would. Well, actually, in a way I do, but I'm not going to say too much in that regard. But it blows my mind that the United States leadership are not looking after their own. The people in your country is your own, even if they vote for a different political party. And unfortunately for the Republican Party, the areas affected by this hurricane was mainly Republican voters in those areas. So yeah, it seems like the Democrat Party and the establishment media, CNN, CNBC, ABC, whatever you call them, it seems like they're largely ignoring most of this footage from the disaster area, which is just disgusting. Nick, you're probably going to be many different opinions about what I'm saying right now, but the Ukraine situation, that war could have been solved a while back. The Middle East, same situation there. But if the wars stop, how are they going to make their profits? Think about that. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration at this stage globally. This Helen disaster is just something that's being ignored by the media. And if it's worse than Katrina, which was, I think, the most or second most expensive the natural disaster in US history, if I'm not mistaken. If they're saying this one's worse, why are they not giving the same type of coverage they did with the previous hurricane? It doesn't make sense, does it? I see that Trump's actually in the area providing aid where he can. Think of it what you will. Biden and Kamala Harris, the Democratic side of things, it seems like they're ignoring a lot of this information regarding the hurricane. But let's see, maybe they do pitch up to the site. Not that I think they'll do much, but when asked about this by reporters, it's like they dodged the questions that we've done what we can. The videos are freely available on X, but keep in mind, X is the only free platform at this stage where you are able to speak your mind without being censored around every corner. There's indications that this might change on places like Facebook in future, but I wouldn't hold my breath for that. I think they're just pandering just to show that they are not who they really are. So, yeah, quite interesting what's happening there. Pray and hope for the sake of those people in the southwestern areas of the United States, or southeastern areas of the United States at least, that goes better. And yeah, let's see how this is going to pan out. But bad timing, just about a month before the US election, that this will happen to this will happen point. But in any case, not much else to say. Kind of quiet on the home front. We all know about the Tshwane incident with the mayor the AMA being removed there. I'm not going to get into those politics. Don't really feel very enthusiastic talking about South African politics. Feels kind of hopeless at this stage, to be honest. I don't think you'll blame me for saying that, but yeah, let's just see what happens and how this all pans out. Too many wars and too many things going on around the world. I don't know if you guys know, last thing I'll touch on, but a couple of weeks ago, we were literally, the world, we were this close to actual global nuclear conflict. The UK and the United States leadership gave approval for long-range missiles to be used against Russia, Moscow in other words. So in other words, they gave approval to Ukraine to use the weapons that they supplied to the Ukraine to target areas in Russia and Moscow and so forth. I'm not sure if that's happened yet, but Putin did put out a stern warning in this regard. If they were to use weapons like that, nuclear weapons are on the table. In a situation like that, it could be 72 hours before all-out nuclear war potentially breaks out. Basically 72 hours, 72 minutes, correction, 72 minutes, then the Northern Hemisphere will be in flames. And no one even noticed. Media didn't even cover it. So we came extremely close to that. And it's not off the table yet. It might still happen, unfortunately. A lot of revelation-y type stuff going on in the world currently. If you're a Christian and you read the Bible, you would see a lot of things seem to be happening like Revelations say it might or would. But it's up to you to decide. I'm not going to tell you what to believe, but a lot of strange stuff happening in the world, a lot of things being said. For example, right is wrong, wrong is right. Everything is upside down, and I don't know how many of you notice it, but I think the world is in a very precarious place at this stage. I haven't seen stuff like this happen, not to my knowledge, in my lifetime. Most of it, I suspect, have not happened ever before. I know they say change is good. I'm not so sure about the changes we're seeing lately, but upside of this is, if it is really revelations coming to life, well, there's something good coming in that case. But yeah, keep well, be safe, and enjoy day.